Hey guys, this is Ben, your agent. Welcome to our YouTube Live. We're so happy you're joining us. If you're a brand new agent, this is definitely for you. We're going to be talking about some great topics to help you be prepared for your real estate journey.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're going to be going through a few topics, including mentors and training. We'll talk about startup costs as a new agent. We'll be talking about time blocking, some useful apps that you'll need, and lead generation, of course.
Yeah, and Alyssa, there are going to be some amazing topics. I'm super excited as we're going through each topic, guys. Feel free to drop your questions below. And after each topic, we'll cover any kind of questions you guys have. So just to kickstart us off, I'll tell you guys a little about me. My name's Ben Pie Champagne. I go by Ben Your Agent on all my social media, but I work for eXp Realty, brokered by eXp. I'm in Los Angeles County, but I service mostly the East San Gabriel Valley area, and I've been a realtor for 8 months now. And you?
All right, my name's Alissa Winkler. My broker is West Shores Realty. They are exclusive in South Bay, LA, so that's my territory out there. And I've been a realtor for about 2 months now.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
so just a little backstory. Ben and I met through prepagent, the prepagent Facebook group. And if you never heard of prepagent before, it's an awesome exam prep tool that we both use to pass our tests and get our license. So that's how we met. And we thought we would just come together and talk about some of the things that we've learned.
Awesome. Yeah. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first topic. Alyssa, you ready?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. So the first topic, guys, that we're going to talk about is mentor and training. So these are some of the things that we want you to know while you're interviewing brokerages. You want to find out the first thing I would say, Alyssa, is what is the training offer for new agents, right?
Yeah, that's super important. As a new agent, you probably don't have a clue what you're doing. Maybe you don't even have any family or friends who are in the business, like myself. I'm completely brand new, and I really need a mentor and a brokerage who's going to show me the way. So, training was very important for me to understand what each brokerage offers as I was going through the interview process.
Nice, nice. So we got Sean here. He says, "Good day, thank you. Thanks for jumping on, Sean. Appreciate it." So, so it's a couple of things that we want to talk about when it comes to brokerages. The first thing would be, what is the training offered for new agents? Um, like, how long is it? You guys want to know how long the training is, because, for example, Alyssa, my brokerage, we have trainings like every single day, 5 days a week, and they're usually about 1 hour long. How about yours?
So my brokerage has what they call Shark Academy. That's for brand new agents or agents that don't have a whole lot of experience and really want to brush up on just transactional things and just those things you need to know. Uh, Even they cover things about COVID recently, COVID
Oh man,
protocols.
that's
We're talking
good.
about lead generation. We talk about time blocking, like everything you could possibly want to know as an agent. And we do that every Monday. And then we also have additional trainings through the week. But yeah, it's important to understand when you're interviewing what that training program is going to look like for you. Try to really ask them specifically because I noticed when I was interviewing, they tend to kind of glaze over it and be like, oh, yeah, yeah, you'll get training in this. And you want to know who's doing the training, how often it
Yeah.
is, where it's going to be. Can you access it later? I think, Ben, yours are also recorded so that you can access your training at any time.
Yeah, so mine it's on the cloud. So we're a cloud brokerage, and we basically have our trainings live, but then it's recorded. some are not, some are like recorded. And I'm sure, and how about yours? Is it usually in person, one-on-one, over Zoom? How's yours like?
Yeah, so luckily, they are able to have them in person. It's obviously still a kind of limited capacity and masks and that whole deal. But I do try
Yeah,
to do it in person when I can, and then they record them, so we're able to access them on like our internal library.
nice. I'm gonna, so we have Dinosaur 51 says, thanks. You're welcome. Thanks
Yeah,
for tuning in
thanks for
with us.
joining.
And yeah, and then I have actually my mentor, Hector Aguilar. He's watching us too. He says, nice to join you during this YouTube live. It's good to have you too. Let's go on with the next thing. It says do you have to pay for your training? That's a lot of
That's an
misconceptions
important one.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually don't. My brokerage has a program. It's actually a flat fee based brokerage, and we'll talk about splits and stuff a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I actually don't have any kind of monthly fee or anything that I'm paying towards the brokerage as of this point until I actually close a transaction.
So that's
How about
really good to know. Yeah, for me, it's free. It's part of my. I think I would say I pay like every month. I think it's just all included. So
Mhm.
that's part of the all inclusive, all the whole package that we're getting and stuff like that. So yeah, I
Got
think
it.
it's 85 a month for me, and yeah, I think it's all included. So
Okay. Yeah.
let's go.
I just want to note though, when I was interviewing at Keller Williams, and I know a few agents that have joined my brokerage and were previously at Keller Williams, and some of their training programs you do have to pay for outside of the monthly fees. So again, wherever you are, whoever you're interviewing, just get a good understanding for what you're going to have to pay.
Good call. Good call. You want to? So what else do we have for what training?
So
What is
yeah, so
training
another
offered?
important thing I think is getting a mentor. And since your
Mm-hmm.
mentor is here, why don't you tell us how you how you found him?
Oh, what a perfect segue. Yeah, so my mentor was actually introduced to me by my sponsor's husband. So my sponsor's husband in EXP met my mentor on an amazing EXP Mexico training, because
Woo.
they're doing a whole whole Mexico training thing, and then his name is Pete. Pete asked Hector, hey, he sees that he lives in Los Angeles, and he got on the Zoom with him and just talked to him and found out that we have both the same common interests, and that he's willing to mentor. And I was just blessed and honored and lucky to honestly meet him, and so definitely that's how I met him, and we've been working for the last 2 months, 3 months actually. Yeah, so it's been a blessing. And you?
Awesome. Yeah. So in my brokerage, the way it works is each office has a kind of, they call it a development manager, and they also serve as the mentors for new agents. So you are able to choose, let's say you don't quite get along with the mentor that's at the office that you're based at, you can
Yeah.
choose another mentor. And I would of course say that you can definitely have as many unofficial mentors,
Oh
as you
yeah.
meet and as you click. But again, during the interview process, you want to understand how that works, because you do need somebody who's going to be working closely with you and who's available to you. I mean, my mentor, I know, will go on any kind of listing appointment or showing appointment with me. He'll answer my calls any time of day, and that's really important as a new agent. You don't want to be left stranded out there when you're trying to figure something out.
Oh yeah, that's always the fear, like, oh, what am I gonna do, right? Like, it's always that little fear. We have Susie here. Thanks for jumping on live with us. She has a question for you, Alissa. It says, I'm sorry, I missed the name of your brokerage. What's the name?
Oh, my brokerage is called West Shores Realty. We are exclusively in the South Bay of LA. We currently have 4 offices and a separate escrow office, but we are expanding quickly. We actually have over 500 agents at this point.
Fantastic, fantastic. And also my mentor kind of put a little in there. He said contract training is a must. For sure, we'll
Amen.
go over the trainings in there for sure. That's for sure. And then we have Sean here. He's asking, what is our definition between mentoring and training? That's a really
Good
good
question.
question. So hold on tight, Sean. We're going to go through our breakdown a little bit more between mentor and training. But right now we're talking a little about mentor, and you talked a lot about like how your mentor really helps you on the field, right? So this is a
Yeah.
good opportunity to give a little like, here's the different choices of mentors, characteristics that we think is important, right? So Alissa, you want to name some of them there?
Yeah, sure. So definitely when you're choosing a mentor, or if you're assigned a mentor, you want to make sure that number one, they're understanding. You know, you want them to be able to work with you as a new agent, and they're really gonna have to hold your hand and explain things to you, you know, kind of on the lowest level because you're brand new. And as I mentioned to you, you want them to be available to you, you know, as you're
Definitely.
starting to prospect, or, you know, you're doing other different kinds of training and stuff. You want them to be available for any questions that you have. Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
take over?
Yeah, yeah, and I think those are so key because like I look at Hector and stuff like that, and I worked with one beforehand. I think I told you, I don't know if I told you in the beginning, but he was he was a little harder on me, okay? Like when I started, like, and he was more of like he gave me a ton of Facebook leads, Alissa. Like he was a really good digital marketer.
Hmm.
But when it came to like that, he was telling me already, expecting me like, hey Ben, I need you to like have appointments that very week. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm new. I barely know the script. Like I know like I don't really know what I'm talking about here. But his expectations were that high. He was like, make sure you have 4 or 5 appointments that week and stuff. And he's cranking, obviously, I appreciate he cranked out a lot of Facebook leads for me. But when you have someone that you want to work with and mentor you, like Alissa said, make sure they're understanding, you know, that you're new and that you don't understand like the terms and the verbiage of script and availability. Make sure that they're available for you, right? Like when I was calling my first mentor, he was like so impatient with me. He's like, what do you need now? Like, you know, it's like, what? Like, you know, like, no, I don't. And you want someone who's patient, kind, I think too, you know, because you know we're babies. We're like babies in a way,
We are.
you know, right? We're like brand new babies. Like you gotta feed us. You can't feed us like a big chunk. You gotta give us the mush, and then like you know what I mean, like that's the kind of person, like someone like that is. And I'm lucky, like I said, I'm really blessed to have Hector, and then my other sponsors here now too. So Gisela, thanks for hopping on. And she says, so good. God works in mysterious ways. Love the collaboration between you. Oh, this is Alissa, by the way. And so,
No worries.
yeah, no, yeah. So,
Another
so
important characteristic I would note is you do want them to push you, and not over the edge, but you do want someone that's going to
true,
motivate you, and someone
true.
that has experience and hopefully is still pretty deep in the business. You know, you don't want somebody who's really kind of taken a step back for it, and they're not sure, you know, what's going up with all the contract updates, and you know, all the new things that are coming out, right? Because things are constantly changing in real estate. There's constantly laws and all kinds of things you have to be aware of. So you want a good balance of someone who's still in their business but is still available to you, and that could be a tough thing to find. But you'll know it
Yeah,
when you find them.
that's true. That's true. And then we got this guy, Kava. I hope I'm saying it right.
Oh, that's
Kavadine.
Kirsten.
Kavad,
That's Kirsten. Hi,
huh?
Kirsten. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Kristen. How's it going? Yeah. Hello. Thanks for joining us. And then, cool. Hector is saying it's a blessing to have you as a mentee. Well, thank you, Pete and Kisla, for introducing. Thank you, Hector. And then we have our fellow prep agent friend here, Stephanie Salvo. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us here. Hi to you as well. And so I think now we talked a little about mentor. Now let's talk about training, because Sean, you're right. There is somewhat of a difference. So let's hop into training now, right, Alissa?
Yeah,
So
well, I guess
what's the first one?
I was gonna say,
Go
to
ahead.
address his question to start off here, the mentor, that's kind of your person. You know what I mean? That's your person that
Yeah,
you can go to with any kind of little question. The training, I would say, is something that's probably offered at your brokerage, hopefully, and then we'll talk about a number of other ways that you can get training as well. But those kinds of programs or classes that you take are separate from what your mentor is teaching you. And I would say what your mentor is teaching you and the questions you're asking are kind of just on a day by day basis, and what you're dealing with. That's the things that you would
that's a
go to
good
your mentor
point.
for.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, because it's the mentor. Like, it's just to really my understanding. You can chime in too, Alyssa. It's like the mentor is that the one literally hand holding you, and then the brokerage is like just flooding you with information. And we'll talk about that, how you can get really lost with that, right?
Yeah,
So
just it's be a little consuming.
yeah. So your friend says here, hi, Alyssa and Ben, Kristen. Yes, hi, good to see you. Thank you. So with that, I think we should definitely say that we should both, any of you guys should definitely look for top agents to learn from. Would you agree?
Yes. So there
Yeah.
is something I heard kind of early on when I was first studying for my exam. You honestly, you don't want to try to learn, like when you're starting to learn the business, and you're picking up habits and things that you want to be doing. If you're just looking to other new agents, it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. You all kind of don't
Oh
know. We don't
yeah.
know what we're doing. I hardly know what I'm doing, and I've been doing this for 2 months. We're just here to share our experiences with you, but we're not trying to teach you how to sell real estate, because I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at that just yet. How about you,
No,
Ben?
no, not at all. Oh my gosh, I'm
Yeah.
lucky just to get, what I got right now. So I'm grateful. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I heard you got an offer accepted.
Yes, hallelujah. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
Congratulations. That's awesome.
yeah, so I'm telling you guys, 8 months I've been in the business, and my one offer finally got accepted. It's been a tough industry. I mean, tough market, right? So,
Yeah. But okay, not to get totally sidetracked.
yeah,
But
yes.
the point is, look for the top agents in your brokerage and reach out to them. I will say more times than not, they're willing to talk to the new agents. They like to share what they're doing, and maybe you can find them a good mentor out of one of them. See who's the top agents, the top producing agents in your brokerage, who's closing the most transactions, or who did the most sales volume last year. And yeah, and just try to hook up with them.
Yeah, because honestly, there's a saying that you are who you surround yourself with, so
Hmm.
you want to be surrounded. Pick 5 good, amazing top producers in your brokerage, and implement them. Like if you're lucky enough, go subscribe to their training. One thing I found, Alyssa, with real estate, at least, like you're able to like get into their mastermind calls. Like for example, I look into my team, right? I don't know if you have your team, and then they basically have like their team mastermind training calls. But in my team, there's just some of the best in our brokerage, and I'm able to glean and hear from them. And the Zoom call is so short and precise, where they're like, there's no random questions. The only questions that is presented is basically like, hey, what is wrong with your business, and how can we address it? And those are
No,
the
that's cut and
like,
dry.
yeah, no, like that's, and those are top producers. That's how they are, and that's how they want to help you. So surprising enough, like I was in other sales business, and everyone's always like, if you're doing better than them, they're just trying to like not give
Oh,
you any
yeah,
secrets or anything. If you know what I'm saying, it's like our industry is
yeah.
very like helpful. So I love that about this industry. So
Yes, I agree. There
Let's
aren't a whole lot of like, secret real estate agents. If you do run into somebody like that, just kind of steer clear. They're doing their own thing. They probably have a little bit of that scarcity mindset, and you don't want any part of that. So there's plenty out there
true,
that will
true,
be willing to help you. So just keep on looking for those people.
true. Now, my friend Gisela said, what's one mistake you have done that can save a new agent? Ooh, what do you think? One mistake you have done that can save?
Well,
I'll
let's
say
see.
for,
Go ahead.
go ahead. For me is honestly, I think like paying a lot of money, which we'll go over later, paying a lot of money for leads. That's
Okay.
definitely one. How about you?
I would say in my first month, I spent a little bit too much time thinking about what I was going to do and not actually doing anything. So I would
The
say
procrastination.
yeah, I wasn't even procrastination. It was just like I wanted to do so much. You know what I mean? I wanted to start
Ah,
building my brand. I want to start prospecting. I want to start mailers. I want to start this and that and this and that. And then all of a sudden a whole month went by and I didn't really do anything. And it just flies right by, you know? So I would
yeah.
say when you first get into it, as I guess as far as prospecting, that's probably the most important thing when you're first getting in here. You can't do much until you have a client, right? You're not going to make
Oh
any money
yeah.
until then. So pick one strategy to find those future clients and just go for that. Just go for that.
Right on. All right. So some other trainings that we recommend you jump on is Clubhouse for sure. We
Yeah.
got Facebook. Yeah, Clubhouse is the bomb. You're gonna say something about that,
Well,
or
yes,
what?
because I love
Go ahead.
Clubhouse. I'm a huge
Oh
proponent
yeah.
of Clubhouse. I probably joined Clubhouse. I believe it was the beginning of March, so about 2 months before I took my exam. And there is just such a community of realtors on Clubhouse, and so many good rooms, and so many awesome people to learn from. So I would even say for mentors, if you're looking for somebody to kind of guide you, that's a great place to look.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, there is some amazing people, and you'll find, through Clubhouse and networking, you get to sort like who you actually like what we went through those, are they
Yeah.
understanding? You can hear it in their tone of voice, right? You're not judging them by how they look, and that's what I love about it. It's like you can tell, are they understanding? Are they available? I mean, if they're showing up on Clubhouse every day, Lisa, like they must
Yeah,
be somewhat available, right?
that's true. You got to be
Right.
careful though. If they're showing up too much, then I wonder if they're doing any business. But
That's true.
so
That's another note to make too. That's true. And and I'll say one thing that I love about Clubhouse is that like there is a thing that I just learned. Like if you start participating in Clubhouse rooms and you build these relationship, you're also going to build three things. You're going to build trust. You're going to build, what's those three things? Trust, dang,
we're, ta-
trust,
we're
and
talking no like and trust.
no, like, and trust. Thank you. Yeah. So you're gonna build. They're gonna start to know you more and more by who you are and your daily activities. They're gonna trust you, and they're eventually gonna also ask you to be moderators in their room too. So now, you're just gonna build that expertise because the top two tiers that I learned when it comes to building referrals and stuff is you got to learn how to communicate, and you got to the top two tiers that makes the most money in any entrepreneur like business is they got to you got to know how to communicate, and you got to be an expertise about it. So Clubhouse actually helps you train that part of yourself that you're not used to, like this YouTube live
Yeah.
is even doing that ourselves, right? So
Yeah, I would say really you can just use Clubhouse to practice. Just practice talking
Yeah.
and practice listening, because that's very important as well. But yeah, like Ben saying, don't be afraid to just jump in there, just get to know people. It might seem like the people in that group have known each other forever, but I guarantee you they probably met in like the past 3 months, and now it seems like they're best friends. So it's
Yeah.
very quick to get to know people, and to form really good relationships across the country and across the whole world.
Yeah. And there's script trainings, by the way, just by the way, if you are afraid to do some scripts, I know there's definitely script training. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of cool training. So let's go with the other ones to keep
If you
track.
need
We
a
got
Clubhouse invite, let me know. I have a few.
me too. Me too. Yeah. Yeah. And then so the next thing I would say for training is jump in Facebook groups too.
Yeah, there's a
Facebook
ton of
group.
Facebook groups for real estate. What's a few that you're a part of now?
Commit to capping is one that I'm on, and that's basically a team, EXP team one, but that it's for all different agents. But if you search on Facebook capping to commit to capping, like basically capping your GCI, like your goal and stuff like that. That's a good one. It gives all kinds of different information for seasoned agents and how to keep expanding and moving in directions. Like, for example, some of the great tips that come out of those groups like that, it's like, now that I've been a seasoned agent now, like or a new agent, and I'm looking to, like, because I'm putting so much time in so many things, like you were saying earlier, right? It's hard to focus on one thing and capping at one thing. Well, they give tips like, now it's time to get a VA, or now it's time to cut, like your door to door and focus on how to convert. Now you got the prospect down. Now how do we convert? And things like that. So some other groups are just, I think, belonging to different state groups, and like those type of groups. What about you? What do you suggest?
One of the good ones that I just joined, and I think actually is kind of newer, is the Ninja Selling Facebook group.
Ooh,
And they,
okay.
yeah, so and that's also a great book and a great podcast. They're covering all the bases there. But Ninja Selling is really awesome. There's a lot of awesome information in that. So that's a good one that I've been doing. There's also, I believe prepagent has a new agent group too that I'm part of. That
Yes,
again,
yes,
people
yes.
are just asking questions. It's just a resource. You do have to be careful that you're not part of so many Facebook groups that you're just getting notifications constantly, and it starts distracting you from actually getting anything done. So just be careful of that. But if you can
I
find a couple of
agree.
good ones, yeah, that you feel like you can go to, if you have just like a random question, I mean, go to your mentor first, go to them first. So the
Right.
best answer for you. But I don't know, maybe you just want to put something out there, see what other people are doing, and bounce some ideas off each other. The Facebook groups are really great for that.
Nice. Let's see. So Sean said here, yes, so agree. I have been learning a lot from Clubhouse. Not comfortable enough to speak yet. Have been asked though. So nice. Yeah, Sean.
Yeah,
And
jump in there.
good. You need to, like, just raise your hand. I'm telling you, just, like, I was afraid before, but, like, like, it's a learning experience, Sean. Like, at the end of the day, like, I would recommend, if you're afraid of the bigger rooms, like, go to ones that are a little smaller rooms, so you can do that too. Um, and then she says, Kristen says, can you put all the Facebook groups and places that you just listed in the chat? Sure.
Maybe we can,
Yeah.
you think we could drop a comment maybe on the YouTube channel after?
Yes. So we'll go ahead and do
Yeah.
that, Kristen. We'll drop the groups that we have in the chat. And then Sean said, I'll get in there. I'll get there. You will. Definitely,
You
definitely,
will.
definitely. So the biggest chunk training, I would say, Alissa, is YouTube. For
Yes.
sure,
YouTube
100%.
YouTube is fantastic. You can literally YouTube anything and somebody has done a video on it. So I personally, for myself, I've been using YouTube a lot for cold calling tips. There's a lot of like
Yes.
scripts out there. You can watch people do like they've recorded them doing cold calling live. If you're
Yes.
starting a website or you're doing any kind of platform or software that you can't figure out, you can probably just find it on YouTube and they'll give you like a step-by-step.
Right on. And then for those that are still studying for your test, you know, we definitely recommend prepagent again.
Of course.
But also ADHI is ADHI,
Yeah.
ADHI
ADDI
school.
school.
It's a really ADHI school.
That was one that I used. I watched so many hours of that when I was studying. And also my personal YouTube channel, I've done a few on exam prep tips and also how I prepared for my exams. So feel free to check that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Sean says, I just joined a group on collaborating on Clubhouse. Right on, right on. And just so you guys know, you know, even when you join as an agent for the National Association Realtor and your local association board, they have some free training too. Like for me, I got Alissa my green home certificate, military relocation professional, you know, certificate to excellence, you know, just some amazing, those are paid, but there's some free ones that are really good. Did you take an advantage of any, or do you like any yourself that you've been on?
Yeah, my board they have probably at least one or two trainings almost every day that are free. And then, yeah, they also have paid ones as well. I'm actually planning on doing one on negotiating soon. So
Ooh,
that's a
nice.
nice little certification to have. It's called REAN, if you ever heard of that. But yeah, your association and the National Association of Realtors and the California Association of Realtors, again, just all great resources. Oh, there you go.
Did you say green?
No,
Green?
I
Oh
said
yeah.
Reen is the real estate negotiating.
Oh, Reen. Oh no.
Yeah.
I need to do that. Yeah, there's some so you know, once you pass your test, guys, like there's just so much to do. I mean, there's so much good training out there, and you know, that's where we're gonna go with balance later on and talk about that because it gets
Yeah.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to mention that the ones that we kind of discuss are mainly free ones. So be careful because
Yes.
there are a ton of paid training programs, but it's probably best to just start with the free ones first. There's plenty to learn. Like you
Yes.
mentioned, YouTube, Facebook, Clubhouse, you can get so much information from there for free.
Yes. And just so you guys know too, you know, your local board and the NAR has a calendar. So take a look at that calendar on their website. They show everything that from every single topic, you know, so on there. So all that training, Alissa, to say all those tips and you know that's offered by brokerage and stuff. The biggest tip we should tell them is about balancing the training and the action, right?
Yeah.
How do they do that? Share with the
So
audience
it's
here.
difficult in the beginning. It really is because you feel like you don't know where to start, and there's just so much to know. But again, my advice would be to start on prospecting because you can't build a business without clients. So I would say for me, that's cold calling right now. I know some people that just totally makes them cringe, but it doesn't really bother me. I actually spent
Yeah.
a lot of time in my previous job before real estate. I spent a lot of time on the phone, so it's not the worst thing in the world for me. And there's you know, some costs associated with that, but you want to choose something to work on and then focus on that training. But you really do have to balance training with doing. And my mentor says you don't want to become a professional student. That's not what
Oh
we're
yeah.
here for. We want to be
I
real.
agree.
Yeah. So
Amen.
it's important to spend, you know, some time, maybe hour or 2 hours, or maybe even 3 hours, you know, learning, you know, doing those trainings, getting those software programs that you're going to have to use. and learning contracts and that kind of stuff. But I would say for new agents, you got to balance out with prospecting and getting out there and meeting people.
Yes, good tip. Like for me to balance time and action, I have to time block, guys. I would highly recommend using a calendar on Google Calendar, or get a calendar book and really putting in the time blocking for what she said is cold calling, which I'm big at too. I love cold calling every day. I agree with you, Alissa. But the other ones too, if you're not like a cold caller, now thank God that the governor opened it up a little more. We can go open houses, right? You're
Yes.
doing coming up. And then
Yes, I do have
also,
one this weekend.
yeah, and then the other one is door knocking. Now we can do some door knocking, luckily. And if you're afraid of that, COVID and all that, me and my mentor, we made postcards that actually has like the stamp approval already on there, and just drop it off in their mailbox. So, get out there, whatever, you got to take action of what you learn, right? So
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to have a mentor that can actually help you, take you out there, show you what that looks like. And even if you don't have business and you're taking a chance and watching him do or her do her business, that's where it's all about. You get that action and that practice out there. So yeah, I mean, what are some other high income producing activities? um,
Well, I would say
oh,
now too, there's a lot you can do online with ads and social media, but it's very easy to fall down the rabbit hole with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You
okay.
could spend hours and then you also get distracted on your own Facebook or your own Instagram, So
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah, you got to be disciplined and stay focused. And I would say if there's something that you want to learn how to do, try really hard to just go online, figure that one thing out, and then just stop watching, or stop reading, and then just go and do it, because you can
True.
just you can spend all day picking up information, but if you don't do anything with it, then it's kind of worthless, right?
True. I'll give you an example. For me, when I first started, Alyssa, like, I wanted to niche myself because my mentor told me, "Hey, I want you to be different from all the other agents." So right away, I concentrate on new home construction. And what I did was I went to every single new home construction in my area. I just toured it. I took videos, Facebook Live, Instagram Live did. So these are some things maybe you guys can do. If you want to niche into a certain thing in real estate, like for me, I just got to know the new home construction agents out there, build relationship with them. And then
Mhm.
when I'm starting to make my videos, as you guys will see my YouTube videos, I literally share during my journey exactly what I learned that week. And that first few weeks, I definitely got to hands down understand the new home construction niche. And I recorded on the Excel sheet and everything. So now when people think of new home construction, I'm praying that they come to me. So,
Yeah, keep at it. You
so
just got to keep at it.
yeah, yeah. So let's answer some questions. We just got one right now from Susie here. Very good question. Susie says, "Are your mentors letting you shadow them?" Go first, Alyssa. Is
Um,
your
I would say, well, yes, he is, but that's for me not how I really want to spend my time. I think again, it's easy to just follow someone around, but you got to be doing. You got to just get out there and do it for yourself. And it seems scary at first, and that's something I struggle with too. Is like I want to know what's gonna happen next before I start something, but you got to just throw yourself in. It's something I'm learning. I have to just get over because otherwise
yeah,
you'll never get there. So if you're spending all your time following someone around, then at what point do you say, okay, now I have to go find my own clients? And I mean, that's not a bad thing to do a couple of times. I would definitely, if they're going on a listing appointment or a showing, they certainly don't mind if I come. But like for this weekend, for example, I'm hosting my first open house because that just opened up in LA. And I
nice.
have never done it before. I'm co-hosting it with someone who has about 2 years experience, but you can't be afraid of like what people are going to ask you or, what's going to happen that day. You just have to go in there and say, I'm going to find some clients today.
Yes, yes. And for me, like I am look like I'm not shy about it. Like I love to be with my mentor everything he does, every step of the way. I'm grateful that my mentor is okay with that. He doesn't have any other mentees that are like with him 24/7. And I've been with him like I said, for the last 3 months or so. And I literally have gone to any kind of appointments he has. If it's showing appointments, I'm with him. If he's on a listing appointment, I'm with him. And so I learn better in person and on the field for me. And like, and then what's really cool too, if my mentor, when I'm on the way to an appointment, I get to ask some really like I get to ask questions with him, and or he gets to share things with me. Or when he's doing the showing for his buyers, I'm doing my YouTube live, guys. If your mentor is okay with it, like like my mentor is cool with video, and I would be doing my. If you guys ever see me on my Instagram live, it's because I'm on his listing and I'm doing my YouTube or Instagram live. So that gives you opportunity to put some high income producing activities while you're on the field, even though it's not your client. But you know what happens, Alissa, is that he trusts me after wanting to go so many times with him on appointment, that he was finally was like nice enough to refer me one of those buyers. And he's like, man, you know what? You're with them so much and you help me so much on the showing appointment for them. I'm gonna let you have this buyer as your first deal. So that's, and then I put in the offer and I got lucky, and the offer got accepted. So yes, to answer your question, Susie, our mentors usually do. You should find a mentor that will let you shadow them, because there is a lot that you can learn from doing that. So
yeah, there's definitely no reason why they shouldn't let you do that. And I would say maybe, I don't know, if they have some kind of issue with it, find someone else in your brokerage that will let you, just accompany them here or there. I'm sure you'll be able to find someone. But if you can't, it's not the end of the world. Don't feel like you need to see it done before you go out there and do it. Because one thing I kind of tell myself is, when I'm calling somebody or when I'm going out to meet someone, you may never even see them again. If you mess up, whatever, just move on. You'll probably never see them or hear from them again.
That's a good point. Good point. So you want us? So we are almost at our point here. Let's start on the next topic. You want to start us off on the next topic?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So startup costs. So, okay, I'm sure you guys have probably heard by now, there's a couple of pretty big startup costs that you have as soon as, well, besides just paying for your license and all the exam prep and that kind of stuff. Once you get your license, you'll have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors, the California Association of Realtors, and your local board. For me, that was about just over $800. How about you?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So since I started in September, they prorated me. So I paid about like 500, close to 500. But when I paid for the renewal this year, it was about like 1,000 something total.
Yeah.
Close,
yeah. So that's
a little over 1,000. Yeah.
It's a pretty big fee, but that makes you, an official realtor, because realtor is a licensed term. Not every real estate agent is a realtor.
Exactly.
So that's a membership that you have to pay for. And like we discussed, there's a lot of resources that these boards will provide to you, as well as just all the forms, all the contract forms and stuff that you have to use. They have lots of different programs to help you use that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's definitely probably the biggest one up front.
Big time. And that fee does come with a lot of benefits. Like I said, we already talked about the training. The training is huge. So yeah. And so let's tell them MLS fees are usually twice a year, by the way.
Right. So yeah, in that 800, that included the first half of the MLS fee, and then in September I'm gonna have to pay that again, another couple $100 for that. But you need the
Yeah,
MLS, so you really don't have a choice there.
I know that's fortunately. And then you do have that transactional one that I've been using a lot through the CAR.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the other fees are new agent processing fees.
Yep, that was also included with that 800 that I mentioned. So yeah, just another board fee that's in there.
Yep. And another thing too, besides those NAR now and also local board fee, you also have your broker fees and team coordinator fees. A lot of that was a surprise later on for me. Like, what's TC? Like, what is
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah.
Team coordinator.
Well, that's our transaction coordinator. So do you pay at your brokerage? Do you pay that per transaction, or how does
Yeah,
that
per
work?
transaction. You know what I found out? Actually, well, we could. I mean, we in our brokerage, you can pick whatever transaction coordinator you want, but there
Hmm.
is like one that the brokerage go to. But like there are some transaction like my brokerage is pretty high. Not my brokerage, but the one they recommend is pretty high. They're saying like 800 something dollars or
Ooh, that is
whatever.
high.
But yeah, but the one that I go with, she's 350.
Okay.
So
Yeah, my
yeah,
brokerage also, we have an in-house transaction coordination team, and it's $500 per transaction. But they, as far as what I hear, they are really top notch. And what your transaction coordinator is doing for you is making sure that
yes,
all your paperwork is set, everything that needs to be signed is signed by you and the client, the buyer, the seller, the lender,
yeah.
and getting all that. That's a whole job in and of itself that you don't want to be
You don't want to do it.
you don't want to be involved in it. It's easy. It's kind of in the beginning, like you're like, oh, well, maybe I could just do it myself and save myself this couple $100, but you don't want to do that. You really don't,
Yes,
because it's too much. It's just a whole nother job. And if something doesn't get signed, that's supposed to get signed, that could throw your whole deal. So it's just something that if it's offered to you, it's something you want to take, or you can hire out for that.
I highly, and I'm sure you highly recommend hiring out.
Yes.
Yes. So the next thing, guys, is I know you guys are pretty good at it when you first got your license, is headshots.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just
Yeah.
another expense you want to think about. I mean, I just did kind of like a cheap headshot in the beginning just to get something to put on my business card. But I would actually like to do something, more like a real like brand photography or lifestyle shoot, something that's a little more me. I'm not really like a blazer wearing, like arm crossing, like one of those type of realtors. That's just not me.
That's
So I
me.
and that's fine, that's fine. But I'd really like to do a photo shoot that shows more of my style and the kind of realtor I want to be. So
Yeah,
another couple $100 there.
I went the cheap route. I did my iPhone. My wife took my iPhone, took a picture of
I
me
mean, it
behind my
works.
white screen, and then I got blessed and lucky with uh, Ali Levy. She's in our prep agent group. She actually drove all the way from like Temecula, that whole area, to come down and do a photo shoot for me.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I was very blessed to do that. So maybe you can find a best friend that's good in
That has a good
photography or
camera.
whatever. Yeah, have a good camera and just help you with that. So, but definitely get a I didn't even care like my headshot, but like I guess people are like, you need to get a nicer one. That looks ghetto. I'm like, okay, whatever. So
I think
I just
it is part of your brand. So you do want something
yeah,
that looks presentable, because when you
yeah,
leave your business card somewhere or they find you on social media, they're judging you based on that. So
true, true,
you're gonna put your best foot forward there. So,
true.
all right. Next on our list of expenses is dialers. So, like
Yes.
Ben and I mentioned, we like cold calling.
Yes.
What a dialer does is you can either download phone numbers into it, or they have their own data that you can pull numbers from. Right now I'm using RedX, which is costing me about $150 a month. How about you, Ben?
Mine is I don't pay. I have Hector helping me with that area with
Okay.
yeah. And mine that I'm using is Mojo, like Mojo, Mojo, and Mojo Dialer is fantastic. And it costs about 100 and you know
I think
what?
it's about 150 also. I think it's pretty
Did
close
you
to
check
RedX.
before?
Yeah, it's close. I mean, it's the same. They're basically kind of the same deal. It just saves you time. You want a dialer because you don't want to be sitting there putting in numbers, and then typically they don't answer, so you're leaving a voicemail, and it just you won't be able to get through many people if you're just dialing those numbers with your own hand.
and so yeah, so the triple line dialer that I pay is 150. So let me tell you guys something about dialers. Before, like, I used to literally call each one by one, leaving a message and stuff. It takes so much time, and with the dialer, within an hour of calling, I make about $200 for the 3-line dialer. So that's why, like, we highly recommend. Amen. Yes, it is. So some other dialers that we recommending you comparing the cost, of course, is also Vulcan 7 is another one, right?
Yeah, that one is the most expensive one. But as far as my research goes, they have the best data. So that's like, you're gonna get people, you'll reach people who actually live at that address, is what I'm saying.
Yes. And you can we'll go over some more on how you can get some leads from there. So let's go with the next one. Alissa, what do we got next here?
Yeah, so advertising costs. It's kind of, it depends how far you want to go with this, but of course you might want to start with social media ads, like I mentioned before. You might want to make your own website. Typically a brokerage will provide you some kind of basic website, and that's probably good to start. But if you do want your own website, you want it to have your name on it. You maybe want to have your own email address. So all of those are small costs, but again, it adds up.
And you make a good point, because I didn't want mine to go ben.piechampagne@exprealty.com. It's like super
Too
long,
much. Yeah.
No.
Same.
Yeah. So buy your website and then just forward it to your brokerage website that they give you, if they give you one. Like, I have benyouragent.com, and it goes to ben.piechampagne, so.
Right.
And then later on, if we're not with that brokerage anymore, at least you have your own specific name, right, Alissa?
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, I also have AlissaWinkler.com, and then I also chose to purchase an email address that I pay monthly for, so it's at AlissaWinkler.com instead of at Yahoo or Gmail or whatever. So again, it's personal preference and what you can afford when you're starting out.
Definitely. And so there's 3 things that you want to consider as we're talking about owning your own website, which is domain host. I didn't even know the difference. The domain host, the domain name, and then the email address. Can you explain the domain host and the domain name real quick?
The host, I guess, is just a website. Like, whether you want to use like GoDaddy to host your website, or Squarespace or something like that, or if you're just using your brokerage website, then that's fine. And then the domain name is actually what you're typing in the URL. So like you're saying benyouragent.com, and then that will take you to the website host, and then the email address, like I just talked about.
Right. And then some other costs, if you wanted to, that I did a little bit, was Yelp. Yelp was, that wasn't too much of a cost. It was just like they give you credits to advertise you and like to put brand yourself out there and stuff like that. And surprisingly, from that first ad I put on there, like, I literally got a call right away the next day, leading to a landlord needing help to sell some of his units.
Mm.
So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. But it'll cost you money. That one will definitely cost you money. Google My Business. Google My Business is actually free and costs money. Yeah. Want to talk about that one?
Well, yeah, I haven't put any money into that. I just have
Neither.
Google My Business. So if you looked up Alissa Winkler Realtor, it will just have my name, my phone number, and the location where I work. You know, it drops the pin on the Google Maps, just like if you were Googling a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
So just awareness. You know, when people are Googling you want things to show up. So you know, you look
They want to
legit.
know you.
Yeah.
They want to, you want people to find you guys. Like at the end of the day, like there's so many realtors out there. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And you want to be the go-to agent. So make your Google, make your Yelp page. And then the next one is realtor.com, which is free for all agents, most agents, right? And Zillow, we didn't mention that, but Zillow also, all these different ones that you see people searching for homes, you can literally make your own profile and make it look nice, like Alissa said, branding's everything, so make sure you have your current your current phone number, your website, and all that, so
yeah, all the
yeah.
contact info. Yeah, and then a
Yes.
few other advertising expenses that you might have starting out is if you do mailers, like you're sending postcards, you want to send like just solds to a neighborhood, or just like a hi, I'm your neighborhood realtor, or something like that. Those things are going to cost money, right? We have send out cards or any kind of thank you cards. That's just something that we use to kind of put a kind of personal touch on it. If you speak to someone or you meet someone somewhere, you just send them a little follow-up card. But another expense there, I think, is that a monthly cost, Ben?
It could be a monthly cost, or you can do it one by one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
yeah, and
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when I got the referral from one of the listings agents that I built a relationship to, I right away sent them a card with some brownies. So it's a company called Send Out Cards, and they send out card for you, and they have gifts on there too that you can send at the same time. So
yeah,
that was about like $10, but whatever. It
but
was
it's
worth
just a
it.
way to make yourself a little more memorable.
Exactly. And then go ahead.
Yeah, business cards, of course. You're going to need some business cards.
Absolutely.
I actually recently just purchased a digital business card called Popple. Actually, let me grab that right here. So
cool.
On right behind my computer here. So Popple is like this little button that you can stick on your phone or your laptop, and you just scan
cool.
it, and then
you
it
got
pulls
that.
up your information. Yeah, and I actually put my logo on it as well.
Oh, that's cool. How much is that?
For the custom logo, it was $40.
Nice.
Yeah,
But the thing is free itself?
The button, well, I think it starts at $20, and then if you want it customized, it was like $30 or $40, just a one-time cost. And then when somebody puts their phone over that, it pulls up kind of like a profile that you set up, and you can put your YouTube page on it, your LinkedIn or anything, so people can like instantly follow you, and also your contact card, of course, so they can automatically save you in their phone. So yeah.
Let me ask you why you chose that one compared to the card. I seen the one with the actual card.
Yeah, I think it's just so easy that it's right on your phone. Everybody always has their phone in their hand anyways, right? So if you meet someone and they're like, oh, can I get your contact information? You can just be like, boop, and just it pops right up on their phone.
Do they need to have the thing too, or they just
Nope.
It's just a
I don't know.
thing.
I don't know how that technology works. That is not my concern.
No. I'm just saying, does another person have to have like?
No. It almost works like kind of like a QR code type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are interested in getting that, let Alissa know.
Yeah, I
That'd
do
be
have a
awesome.
referral link. But yeah, I think it's really cool. It looks really, like slick, and I think it's like kind of impressive too when you just pull that out and people can just go to your profile right from there. You don't have to be like, oh, you spell my name Alissa. Like I'm over that. Telling people how to spell my name.
And you save tons of money on business cards, so that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Pro-
So super
You're
cool.
helping save the planet, guys. So so cool, awesome. And then let's go into office tools you guys should have.
Yeah.
So
So depending on what you have already, when I started, I needed a new laptop because at my previous job, I had a laptop that was provided by the company. So once I left that company, I no longer had a laptop. So that was a pretty big expense that I had out in the beginning. I mean, don't go buy a new laptop if you have one that works just fine, but maybe you might want a tablet or something. For showings, that's always kind of impressive when you could pull stuff up on your iPad or something, or for open houses and stuff like that. Or
yes.
maybe you might need a new phone.
Yeah. Yeah, with what we're gonna go over next later after this, yeah, because of storage, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the storage, and you're going to be taking tons of pictures on your phone. I use my phone for my YouTube videos. But if you don't want to do that, maybe there's some more equipment you might need for that also. Um,
yes,
and then what else, Ben?
I think that definitely what everyone should have, and I'm guilty of it, guys. I'm literally confessing here is I need a ring light. So there's different types of ring light, guys. I've seen some really awesome ones that you can clip on your phone.
Hmm.
One that you have, right? You have the big one,
Yeah, well,
the
it's kind
circle
of like
one.
a tripod, ring light, and phone holder, and it was only $30. I mean, you can find it on Amazon. You can find it in the mall. I don't know. You don't need a really high tech one for that. You just need something with some light, and that can hold up either your phone or your camera, whatever you plan on using. Because you want to get your face out there, right? That's our whole point there. People want to
Yes.
see you. They want to get to know you, of course, and know, like, and trust. And they can only do that if you're showing them who you are.
Yes, and we're just going over the basic tools, guys. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you can get some other things like gimbal and like all these fancy tools, but we want to give you guys just the basic because we know how hard it is. We don't have that much money when we all start, right?
Yeah.
And like half of our money's gone to the board. so, so yeah. So maybe a little. You want to share the personal accessories? This,
Yeah,
this,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, as a female in the business, I needed some kind of bag or purse to bring my laptop around, to bring paperwork with me. I have folders. I always have some snacks on me. So I just got a
Toilet
cheap bag off
paper.
Amazon. Well, like for open houses, oh, that's a whole nother bag of stuff. But
Exactly.
but yeah, just for going on appointments and things, you might need to just invest in something, or try to use what you have, or start with
Yeah.
something a little bit more inexpensive so you can get a feel for it and see what you really need while you're out there.
Yeah. For me, it's a carry-on small carry-on luggage bag to put my laptop. Like you have a female big
Like a
bag,
tote bag. Yeah, it's like a tote
tote
bag.
bag. And for me, I got the idea of getting those ones, the carry-on, like the small kind of
Yeah.
wheelers.
Hmm.
That's what I use. So yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then I had to buy some suits, I had to buy some button downs
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Wardrobe.
So
Yeah.
you want to
Again,
look presentable.
yes, look presentable, but it's your business and it's your brand. So if you don't want to look like a lawyer, you don't have to, but you also don't want to look like you rolled off the couch, right? So maybe you
Right.
need, some nicer shoes. Some comfortable shoes are important because you're going to be on your
Yes.
feet a lot. So
Yes.
again, just costs to keep in mind. Hopefully you came from a
Yes.
job that's not too far off from this.
Absolutely. And then with another cost we thought you might have to think of ahead of time is networking groups. So, the biggest things in business, it's networking, meeting new people all the time. Because,
Mhm.
they always say, and we're not, and I'll say it, they always say, start with your sphere of influence. And for me, like, I'm afraid of my sphere of influence, you know. So it's easier for me to go meet brand new speaking people, and so I have that cost, you know. And there's some free ones too now, but now with COVID kind of opening up new events and stuff, I would highly recommend maybe checking out your community groups or your country club, you know, and
Yeah.
join those, or even networking groups in the hobbies that you like. You know, go and join a baseball team or softball team or a tennis team or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm actually
join
joining a
something you
kickball
like.
league starting next
There
week.
you go.
But
Exactly.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah, just so I actually don't have a sphere of influence because I'm from the East Coast. So all of my friends and family are out there. So here for me, especially now that things are starting to open up, I'm definitely planning to get out there more into, like you're saying, community groups and stuff like that to meet people and let them know that I'm a realtor and I can help them.
Right on. So what else? What else we got here for
So
startup
yeah,
talk?
speaking of those open house supplies that we were talking about, that I pretty much did whatever I could at the dollar store. So yeah,
Yes.
grabbing all kinds of like flyer holders and folders or clipboards or air fresheners and toilet paper. Yes, you need toilet paper or paper towels and pens. All of those little things, you know, everything's just adding up. But when you're doing an open house, you want to be prepared. You want to have all the materials that anybody might need, all your business cards and, you know, stuff, ways for them to remember you, right? And then of course your
Uh,
open house signs and eventually for sale signs.
yes. Yes. Do we not put it in here? The Supra?
Oh, that's in the apps, I think. We'll talk about that on the next one.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about Supra in the app in the next session. But that is a startup cost also, guys, because when you start doing like, if you're a listing agent, you definitely need a Supra key. You know, that's another startup cost that I forgot to mention. It's now called a Supra E key. So, you know, of course they still have the old days. I still see some of them that are the, you know, the little dialing ones that are the lockbox like that. But they're most now are Bluetooth lock boxes. So that's another startup cost right there. And it's a one time, by the way, just one time yearly one. I can't hear you, Alyssa. Uh-oh. No, I can't hear you. Uh-oh, it's okay. Technical difficulty.
How about now?
Yay, perfect. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah,
Looks like my headphones
awesome.
died.
Well, let's give them the last tip for startup costs here, and then we'll take some questions here. Um, so the last one is certification and destination. A little bit with like what we were talking about um, with the training. So, you know, you can get certified with the NAR, which I did. Right away, I got certified with the C2EX, which is certified to excellence, which is free. That one's free. But then I was like, man, I want to niche in the new home construction. You remember I was saying that earlier? Well, there is training courses to get certified in that, and I paid for that. And then after I learned that, I paid to be part of a certification group, paid for that. And then I wanted to learn more for the military. And there's a destination called Military Relocation Professionals to help military while they're moving state to state because of a PCS, they call it. And then I also paid for green home certification, which is a destination too. And that is free. There's some free, your board can offer a free class to get destination in, but then they give you 1 year and then you have to pay the next year. So those are some destinations that that are free, and but like you're the one, explain the one that you're doing. So
Yeah, so I
what
haven't
are
started yet, but it's for negotiation. And again, these are just all, you know, letters after your name that you can put that make
yeah.
you look more qualified. Well, that make
that make you more qualified to
Yes.
help people in finding or buying or selling a home. So yeah,
Right.
unfortunately, most of them cost some amount of money, and you don't have to do them all at once, but they are good things to have. And again, you're learning about certain topics or whatever you're interested in too. There's really kind of something for everyone, I think. So like you're saying, with the niches or whatever you're interested in. There's like home buyer. There's ones just for home buyer specialists.
Yes.
There's a lot of different ones out there that you can kind of just level up your realtor status by getting a couple of letters after your name.
Yeah, and we want to be expertise in our game, and that's what really sets you apart from the 99 realtors out there. You know what I mean? How do you be recognized doing these Google My Pages, doing these amazing trainings, which people will actually see you do them. And as you're talking to your sphere of influence, as you're talking to your cold calling, people watch you. And like I give kudos to Alissa for all the YouTube videos she started even before she even got like past the exam. So most of you guys know Alissa because of her YouTube, or just being able to lead some amazing study groups. And same with me. The more you're educating yourself, the more you get certified with certain things, people would want to come to you because they can know that they can trust you. So
that's it.
So that's it.
That's a perfect time to break.
Sounds good. So let's go over the questions real quick. We only have a few questions on here.
Sure.
So Susie here says, can you please share that link, Alissa?
Can you be a little more specific on that, Susie?
Yeah, Susie, if you can leave a comment which one you're talking about. And then she says,
Kirsten. She's looking for Popl. Yeah, the digital business card. It's POPL. Yep. If you just type that in Google, that will definitely pop up.
POPL. And Kristen, hit Alissa for the referral link. And then last but not least is Susie asks, is that the Sentry Lock? The Sentry Lock, it's called Supra E-Key. So Supra, it might be, I believe it's the same. Do you know, Alissa?
I haven't heard of Centra Lock. Maybe that's something we don't have in LA. Maybe.
No, let me see. I think it's the same. Sorry, I'm looking, guys, on Google here. So yes, it is like Central Lock, but the thing about Supra, Susie, is that it doesn't have a keypad. So with the Supra, the new Supra lock that I'm talking about, it's Bluetooth. So we'll talk about apps in the next part of our series here, and you literally now can Bluetooth open the Supra Lock with your phone, or even your Apple Watch.
Exciting stuff in the real estate world.
Yes. So yes, Susie said yes, PO.
The Popl. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then Susie said, oh, that is probably only in my county. Okay, yeah, maybe that's, every county is a little different. Yeah, so.
All right.
Cool. Last thing I want to do, guys, is talk about Clubhouse. Every Sunday, I actually do a new agent Clubhouse room. So please join me and some of the most seasoned agents on there that just love to give their, advice and opinion, and add me on Clubhouse. On the bottom, you see the ticker. Follow us on IG and subscribe to our YouTube. Well, you can also find my Clubhouse at BenYouAgent on there. And you too, right, for your Clubhouse, Alissa?
At Alissa Winkler for Clubhouse. Mm-hmm.
So the Clubhouse for new agents is on Sunday at 7 p.m. if you guys want to join. Again, there is just amazing realtors that just want to pour out to us and help us get in front of the game and in front of people and doing our best. So I just want to say thank you so much, Alissa, for just doing this with me. It's been so fun. And you want to tell the people our next we're going to do a part 2. So
yes, part 2. Tune in next Wednesday on June 2nd. We're going to talk about time blocking. We'll talk about useful apps that we're using right now. And then we're going to talk about low cost and maybe even some no cost lead generation that you can use as a new agent. So this has been awesome. Thank you so much for hosting this on your channel, Ben. And we will see everyone next week.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. See you guys next week. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.